Okay, so welcome to. Hold up. Okay, guys, welcome to WP Lead. Okay, guys, welcome to WP Lead Explosion Strategy Session. Now, before we get into the strategies we want to cover and what we're going to cover on this webinar in regards to WP Lead Explosion, I just wanted to talk a little bit about myself and David. And who Plugin Beast is and all of that. For anybody that's new to us, you've never been on any webinars we've done, or you're not a previous customer of ours or anything like that, or a subscriber. Just a very, very brief introduction. I'll give you some links as well in a moment that you can check out and find out more about us if you want to. But ultimately as well, just to let you know what we're about right now. We run a mobile marketing business in the UK. The mobile marketing business we run in the UK, we set up together last year. It was around July, August last year. Myself, Jamie, I've been running an offline marketing business for around 5 to 6, well, nearly 6 years now. And again, I used to do everything from web design to SEO. Met David, we lived close to each other and decided to start a mobile marketing business together last year, which has grown leaps and bounds in the UK. We're currently working on a strategy to take our business worldwide with our own mobile website builder and mobile website CMS and coupons and everything. But currently, we're still working on launching that to the public, and everything is focused predominantly in the UK. However, since we started our business, we created several products which include Mobile Simulator Pro, Mobile Slider Pro, Mobile Video Pro, and WP Lead Explosion, which is our latest. These have all been created from what we use within our own business. Mobile Simulator Pro, Slider Pro, and Video Pro are all tools we use on our own consulting website here in the UK, just to give us more of a professional look, help us with selling and demoing of mobile websites and selling those and marketing those. And we decided to launch those over the past 7-8 months to the marketing public on the Warrior Forum, etc. And I've had a lot of great feedback, and we've helped lots and lots of people get clients already for mobile websites. So if you are new to who we are, you've never come across us before, you don't own any of our previous products, if you want to check any of those out, those will be linked below the replay that we send out later on the replay page. But if you want to find out more about us, because I don't want to cover too much about who we are and what we do on this particular webinar, I want to get into the strategies here. You can visit our blog. Our blog is mobileinkomehub.com. And we've also got a Facebook group as well, a Plugin Beast Facebook group. The Plugin Beast is generally just because we've created a lot of plugins. But we've got a Plugin Beast Facebook group, which is really, really good as well. I mean, there's lots and lots of people in there. There's lots of action. There's loads of tips and strategies and people helping each other. It's a really, really good group. We'll post the links if you are on live. We'll post both links, our blog and the Facebook group, in the chat box for you now. So if you want to go and check that out in your own time, then do so. If you want to join our Facebook group, just hit join and we'll add you as soon as we see. And also, guys, if you're watching this on the replay, so you can't see in the chat box, below this video, you'll see links to both of these places. Okay, so with that small introduction out of the way, let's get on to this to the actual strategy session here and what we're going to cover. Now, in this particular session, we want to cover 3 things, and these are the 3 biggest questions, what we've received most of, the requests, and people trying to get help on things such as the best niches to target with WP Lead Explosion. Now, although you can target essentially any niche with this particular tool, and that's why the tool's so great, what we want to talk about today is more so the niches we target as a mobile website business. So when we go and sell mobile websites, what niches out there do we actually target? We'll give you some real examples and why we target those in a moment. So we're going to go on to niche selection, targeting, and strategy. This has been a big question from many people, especially those that have prospected a lot already, but yet to get any sort of response, or wondering if they've chosen the wrong niche. So hopefully, when we go through that in a moment, it will become a lot clearer. We're also going to do a little bit on getting the most out of the tool as well. So when creating and using the template builder with WP Lead Explosion, some of the things you should include, and as far as the text elements, how we work the text elements in when using the tool ourselves. And also, probably the biggest question of all, contacting and approaching businesses, and more specifically, emailing businesses. Now, whether you have the pro version of the plugin or just the basic version, what we're going to talk about today is how, once you've created these landing pages, if contacting businesses via email, how to do that in the right way and get the best response. So we're going to talk about that today on this particular strategy session as well. So 3 major things. The niche selection and the emailing businesses is probably the biggest questions we've had, but we're also going to give you some tips on getting the most out of the tool as well. And like I say, if you've got any questions as we go through, guys, although I've set out some content here, and we don't, we don't structure our webinars as such where it's concrete and you can't ask us any questions and we won't answer any. Just fire those in the chat box as and when, guys, and I'll keep an eye on that and answer those as and when I can. So, first up, niche selection, targeting, and strategy. Now, this is crucial for many reasons. If you choose the wrong niche and approach the wrong type of business, you could spend a lot of time putting together landing pages, putting together emails, sending lots of emails, and this obviously takes a lot of time, and not getting much back, no responses, you're not getting many opens on your emails, or you're not getting any replies, no phone calls, nothing. And a lot of the times it can be down to the type of niche you actually target. And what we've seen in the past, I mean, being in this industry ourselves, we are selling to businesses, mobile website design, every single day, every single week. It's our main business. And we only got into creating products such as this tool and all the other previous tools that we've launched because they were tools that we had created for our own business in the past. And you'll see that if you check those tools out. But the key is we know what it's like when it comes to targeting niches with specific services. And my background going back 5 to 6 years now, let's take 2 different types of niches and what we like to call them. There are 2 different types of niches out there, business niches. And what we like to call gatekeepers galore niches and owner-orientated niches. Now, let me explain the differences between the 2. Examples. A gatekeeper galore niche would be a dentist, a real estate company or an estate agency if you're in the UK, or an accountant. A restaurant can also probably go into this category as well. Owner-orientated niches, plumbers, hypnotherapists, driving schools or driving tuition, electricians, carpet cleaners and carpet cleaning companies. Let's have a think more owner-orientated, personal trainers, psychotherapists, any type of therapist in that matter as well. Now, the differences between the 2, gatekeeper galore and owner-orientated, kind of obvious from the names, but gatekeeper galore niches such as dentists, real estate, restaurants, accountants, you are likely, if you're going to email that business right now today, you're going to send an email in, it's likely going to be read by a receptionist before it's read by the owner. Or the likelihood is it's never going to be read by the owner because they've got people working that front desk or employees working within the business that handle any emails or phone calls. Those are gatekeeper galore niches. Now, again, you look at dentists. If you email a dentist, you pick one at random right now and email them, you're likely going to get the receptionist. The dentist doing the dental work is likely not going to be answering emails or reading emails. Only the important emails get through. Real estate companies, estate agents. A real estate company, the person at the top of that real estate company is likely going to be out closing the big deals, the big houses or whatever, or looking around new plots and developments or whatever it makes them the most money. They're not going to be sat in the office answering and reading emails. They're going to have employees within their real estate office and estate agency to deal with customer inquiries, etc. So again, if you email any real estate or estate agent now at random or in your local area, the likelihood is, depending on the size of the local area and the size of the company, you're going to hit a receptionist or a gatekeeper. Same with accountants. If you email an accountant, as an example, or a professional service company, you're not going to get through to the accountant directly. They're going to be working on books and company tax returns and things right now at this moment in time in the middle of the working day. Now, if we switch that from gatekeeper galore to owner-orientated, you've got plumbers. Now, if you go and grab a local plumber's website or you grab a number out of the Yellow Pages or the local paper, the likelihood is it's a cell phone number or a mobile phone number if you're in the UK, as we call it. And if you ring that number, you're going to get through to the owner. The likelihood is it's going to be the plumber, the guy that owns the business, that answers the phone. And likewise, if you send that particular business an email, the email is likely going to be read by that plumber when they get home from their working day, when they've done their work for the day. They get home, they check their email to see if they've had any inquiries. Your email is going to get read. Hypnotherapists, the same. Driving schools, the same. Massage therapists, personal trainers, electricians, carpet cleaners, all these businesses are very owner-orientated businesses. These are businesses that in general, and you do get odd ones that do have offices and reception areas, etc., but these businesses don't necessarily need a huge reception area to deal with customer inquiries, because the likelihood is it's not a huge business, and there's no reason for them to literally spend the money on employees to answer their emails for them if it's not a huge, massive business. And they're owner orientated. Now, when it comes to myself and David and our business, and when it comes to selling mobile websites in general, not even within WP Lead Explosion, any route and angle you want to take. I mean, we follow lots of different angles and routes and avenues to client generation, which is important. But every single time we focus very heavily on owner orientated businesses because we get a bigger response. If we send 100 emails to 100 plumbers and we send the same 100 emails to 100 dentists, we're going to get many more responses from owners from the plumber list than we would from the dentist list. Now, that's not to say, guys, here that we're saying don't ever target a dentist or a restaurant or a real estate company or an accountant, because all of those businesses need a mobile website. I mean, a restaurant, as an example, is a huge, huge niche when it comes to selling mobile websites. They desperately need a mobile website, and we do it. We do approach restaurants. But the problem is you've got to change up your approach somewhat, and you've got to be prepared to approach these businesses more than once to get your foot in the door when it's gatekeeper galore. Whereas if we send one email to a plumber, the likelihood is that email will get through to an owner. You're going to have to send more than one email. You're going to have to try and contact a restaurant many other different ways than just one simple email to try and get through to that owner of the business. You've got to be persistent. You've got to try different things, different approaches, etc. So those are the differences. And when it comes to actually targeting and choosing niches to go after, especially if you're brand new, if you've not sold any mobile websites yet, or you're just getting into this, we highly recommend you really go after those owner-orientated businesses. Because if you do and you choose that niche properly, as far as a business that you're likely going to go through to the owner, when you do target those companies within that particular niche, you're going to get a much bigger response, which is absolutely huge. Now, you can spot this yourself as well. If you open up a Yellow Pages right now, or you go to Google and you type in plumbers in your local area, and then on a separate tab, for example, you type in real estate companies in your local area, or estate agents. One way to spot if it's owner orientated is to check on the actual numbers and contact details of each business on that top page of Google, or each business in the Yellow Pages. If you're finding a lot of cell phone numbers or mobile phone numbers as contact numbers, the likelihood is it's an owner-orientated business, and that number will go through to the owner of the business. If you're finding a lot of just local numbers and landline numbers, as we call them, the likelihood is it's going to be receptionist manned. A plumber, for example, that runs his own business isn't going to put a phone number on all of his advertising and his website that is going to go through to his home address or his landline if he's not going to be in the home all day long. He's going to put a number that is going to come through to him at any day in the any time of the day. So by looking at this, you can see plumbers as an example on the top page of Google. There are a lot of cell phone numbers or mobile phone numbers that are coming up on these particular plumber websites, or in the local Yellow Pages, you see a lot of cell phone numbers in there as the contact number. That's a good sign that is an owner-orientated business. So if you're wondering if a certain niche is owner-orientated or gatekeeper galore, then just check in the Yellow Pages or any local paper or anywhere you can look at business listings to see what sort of contact details are being shared. The same go with emails as well. You'll find a lot of owner-orientated businesses still use emails like Hotmail addresses and Gmail addresses. And in the UK, we see a lot of BT Internet email addresses. Not always. I mean, this is getting short. I mean, this is getting lower and lower as people move to their own domain email addresses, but you still get to spot these. A local estate agent or real estate company isn't likely to have a Hotmail address unless it's the owner's actual email. So again, that's another good way to spot that. So you can spot this yourself, and it is kind of obvious as well. If you just think yourself, your local area, you think of a business niche. You think, if I was to call this business, or if it's a business you actually walk into and it's a physical business, a restaurant, whatever. If I was to go into that business today, would I likely speak to the owner when I walk in, or would I hit a receptionist? If I was to ring the number for that particular business now, am I likely going to hit a receptionist, or am I likely going to have a good chance of hitting the owner? It's kind of obvious with each different business niche out there. So again, just reiterating, if you want to choose the right niches and go after the right types of niches, go after owner orientated. If you're brand new, you will get a much higher response rate. From that. Now, it's also important to mention to stick to one niche at a time as well. A lot of the times, and like I mentioned at the very beginning of this webinar, myself and David have been doing this quite a while now, and while doing it quite a while, we've released several products, not just the plugins I've mentioned, but we've also got lots of other types of products as well. As many of you will have known from the WP Lead Explosion, if you jumped in on OTO2 or Upsell 2 or Upgrade number 2, where we did the $1 trial, that was another method of us gaining clients, and that was our method. And you'll notice the webinars and the training in there was myself delivering that, and David. And that has helped lots and lots of people get clients as well. But all of these, we're showing all of these different areas, and because we have all these different client generation routes that we've talked about and we do within our own business, we get a lot of questions from our customers and subscribers, and with niche selection, one of the biggest things we see a lot is when people and marketers, just like you and me, that are going out there and using these techniques to try and get clients, are finding that they're hitting brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. They're not getting any responses. And then we ask, what have you done so far? Who have you targeted? And a lot of the times we're getting a lot of people that say, I've targeted 10 restaurants and that didn't work, so I then targeted 10 plumbers, and then I decided to target 10 electricians, and then 10 this other company and another company, and they're jumping in from niche to niche to niche to niche far too frequently. Now the problem with that, and there's no problem with targeting several different niches. I mean, we target lots of niches. These three that are mentioned on the page here, plumbers, hypnotherapists, and driving schools, are three of our top niches that we targeted. Hypnotherapists in itself is huge. Photographers was a big niche for us as well. And all of these are niches we target. So we don't just stick to one niche. But when we do hone in on a niche and go after one niche, we'll target that niche locally in our local area around Manchester, etc., all local towns. And once we see a good response from it, once we've sent, in some cases, 100, 200, 300 emails, and we see a good response, and we've got enough to gauge a good response or an okay response, well then, rather than jump to a new niche in our local area, we'll go outside our local area and target every single business in the same niche across the UK, which opens us up to thousands more people. Now, the key, the whole point of doing one niche at a time is so that you know what's going on with the niches you target. If you're speaking to a hypnotherapist when you're trying to close a mobile website deal with them, if you've spoken to 10 hypnotherapists, you're going to understand the hypnotherapy business a lot more. And you're going to understand what key points when you're selling that mobile website, that hypnotherapist is going to kind of look at and go, I see what you're saying now. Rather than jumping from a hypnotherapist to, say, a electrician, you know nothing about the electrician industry, and all of a sudden you were comfortable speaking to hypnotherapists and knowing what their buy points were, but then you switch to a new niche and the buy points for the new niche might be completely different. And again, you only really gauge this from experience, so don't worry, too much right now if you've no idea, what buy points are and things like that. You learn these as you target one niche and keep in one niche. So again, if you target one niche, don't jump from that niche after 5 emails or 10 emails just because you've not had a response. In some cases, like I mentioned, we send hundreds of emails, a day in some cases to see what types of responses we get. And that's the key. You've got to keep sending. You've got to keep running after niches. If you start, if you get to 200-300 emails and you've not had one response from restaurants, then it may not be the best niche to go into right now. It may be something you go into when you've got a bit more experience in getting around, more gatekeeper-orientated businesses. So, switching to a different niche then would be perfectly fine. So it's definitely something to take into account. I mean, not everybody's going to listen, obviously, and we do get a lot of questions, saying, I've tried this niche, tried that, tried this. But when you really dig down and you're finding that the person who's saying that has only sent 10 emails to each niche, there's no way to gauge a response from a niche with that small amount of emails. When you test landing pages online, you're supposed to send thousands and thousands of clicks to the landing page to even to gauge whether that landing page converts or not. So this works in the exact same way. You cannot gauge if your campaign is working or not by sending just 10 emails. You've got to really go, and scale that up as quickly and as far as possible. Once you start sending a bigger bulk of emails, hundreds, you start to realize if that is a niche worth targeting. Now, who to target when it comes to mobile? Because this is focused around mobile and WP Lead Explosion, although it has the other templates, the MacBooks and the iMacs, and you can compare all different types of offline services, the main focus is mobile, and that's what we're covering mostly today. So who to target when it comes to mobile? It's important, guys, that you target businesses getting traffic and businesses in need of a mobile presence. When it comes to within our business, and we go after different niches, and again, this is niche wide. It doesn't matter what niche you're targeting. We're not going to target a business unless they come to us. We're not necessarily going to go after a business that's on page 100 of Google, is in the dust when it comes to website traffic, gets no website traffic whatsoever. It's pointless going to them trying to sell them a mobile website because they're not really going to get any benefit from that mobile website. It's going to be much harder to try and sell that to them because they're not getting any traffic. If you go after businesses getting traffic or businesses, and I actually should have put this in there, businesses that are heavily marketing their own businesses, you're gonna be opening yourself up to people that are open to listening to you. If you've got a business that is spending £500 as an example on Google AdWords traffic every single month, and you compare that business to a business that's say been in business for 50 years, they've only just got a website, they don't really believe in the internet right now, so they're not spending any money on advertising whatsoever. It's going to be easier selling a mobile website to that business that is sat on the top page of Google, spending £500 a month for traffic, than it would be trying to convince somebody that is still a dinosaur to the internet and doesn't really know much about the internet and how it can benefit them, because they've no real experience in spending money on marketing. A business that is already proactively marketing their business, spending money online, spending money on things like Google AdWords, is more likely to see what you can do to help them convert more traffic. And taking Google AdWords as an example, as we all know, and we're going to show you this stat in a moment for those that haven't seen it, Google released stats months ago on their mobile ads blog that basically said from a survey and from tests they'd done that 67% of mobile users leave a non-friendly mobile website without taking any action. Now, most businesses have no idea of that. And if somebody's paying for Google AdWords, £500 a month or whatever, and say they're getting as an example, they're getting 500 clicks on their website a month from that Google AdWords ad, there's a good chance that 30 to 40%, or at least 30% of that traffic will be mobile users. And the majority of that mobile users are jumping off their website without taking any action because they've not got a mobile website in place and their website isn't mobile friendly. That is a huge, huge, huge stat. That is a huge fact. That is a huge selling point to a business, because they understand that. They understand that they're spending money. And when you bring that to their attention that, look, you're spending money on, 200 clicks a mobile users every month, yet over 100 of them every month leave your website solely because it isn't mobile friendly. I can change that with a mobile website right now. That business is going to be more interested in seeing what you can do and spending money in what it is you can offer than somebody getting no traffic whatsoever. So again, not only choosing the right niche when it comes to your targeting, but choosing businesses within that niche that are likely going to get an immediate benefit from the mobile website, but are going to understand and be open to speaking to you about these new marketing strategies that can enhance what they're already doing. Is very, very important. And again, it all comes down to spending money as well. A business that doesn't spend any money on advertising is going to be harder to convince when it comes to getting them to getting that checkbook out and paying you. Whereas somebody that already spends a significant amount of money on advertising and marketing understands they need to do that. So you do not have to convince somebody at the beginning to spend money with you. They already know they need to spend money on marketing. The key is then not just to sell them on that point, which is a very hard sell when you're trying to convince somebody to spend money on marketing if they don't do it already. But convincing somebody that already does that is much easier because you've just got to convince them on this is why this mobile website is worth investing in. And that's the key here. Now, also businesses in need of a mobile presence as well. Think Flash websites. And I'm sure most of you guys live and listening to the replay have heard of this before. But if not, just to briefly explain, Flash built websites don't work on iPhones. So again, that's a huge hindrance for a lot of businesses. And keeping that in mind, you'll find a lot of the time as well, when you pick out businesses that advertise on the likes of Google AdWords, you'll find some of them have Flash sites as well. We come across this all the time, and in Google Places, Flash websites. And when we do come across that, it's like we've just found a diamond, because all you need to do is point out the traffic, but then also point out that not only are mobile users jumping off your site because it isn't mobile friendly, but users on iPhones, which every business owner has heard of before, physically cannot open your website or physically don't see your website or certain parts of your website because it's Flash orientated. So a mobile website isn't just a necessity for that type of business because of traffic they're getting, but it's a necessity because they're literally stopping people visiting their website that are using a specific browser, an iPhone. So again, very important. So when it comes to choosing niches, owner-orientated over gatekeeper galore businesses are always going to be easier and you're going to get the most responses from. So keep that in mind. Stick to one niche at a time until you can categorically see that you are getting nothing from it. And again, we're talking, you've got to be sending hundreds of emails to even know of that. You could send 10 emails, stop sending, but then if you'd have carried on and sent another 10, get 10 responses. So again, you've got to really get into hundreds of emails before you know, or hundreds of approaches if you're approaching in another way. But again, targeting the right businesses within the niche is important as well. So go after those businesses getting traffic already, mobile traffic, top page of Google, Google Places, Google AdWords, or businesses spending money on advertising already, potentially advertising online as well. I know a lot of businesses spend a lot of money offline on advertising, but again, we're looking for businesses that are spending more online because they're going to be open to spending more if it's going to help them. And again, businesses that are also in need of a mobile presence, Flash websites. If you come across a business that is likely getting a lot of traffic to their website and their website is horrendous for mobiles, then you want to be pointing that out and showing them. And an example of this, photography and that business and niche, very owner orientated. You can get through to a lot of owners very easily as in photography, in the photography niche. But what you tend to find with that as well is a lot of their websites are Flash. Or I say a lot, we get more photographers with Flash websites than any other niche. But you also find as well, photographers love to show off their work, obviously, their portfolio, their photos. And you'll tend to find that a lot of the websites you land on can be very image-based. And we're talking, you open it on your phone, and it just opens up huge images that just make it an absolute nightmare to scroll around using a finger to do so. And pointing this out to a business owner and explaining this is crucial. And all of these elements as well, guys, things like Flash, things like images opening up too big on the screen can be pointed out, using the WP Lead Explosion. And that leads me on, to the next point of this webinar, the next strategy, where I want to talk about 3 things to help you build landing pages that convert, and what you should be doing with the landing pages or essentially the templates you build with WP Lead Explosion. Now the key is, and what I want to focus on here more so is not, I don't want to get into building templates. I mean, it's kind of straightforward how to build templates, and we've got tutorials on that. What I want to focus on is more so on the text you use within your templates, because WP Lead Explosion allows you to create a template that can then create landing pages that are very unique. They're very attention grabbing. When you sharpie them up, as we say, it grabs the attention. Business owners are going to read that. It's not a wall of text. You're not trying to explain it in an email that they've seen before. You're showing them something that they have never ever seen before, a comparison on page with all of these different notes around it that is eye-catching. It's aesthetically pleasing as well, but it's attention grabbing. They see their website in one of the mobile phone templates, and they want to see what you've written about it and what are all these little notes you've made. So again, the text is the biggest element of WP Lead Explosion. So it's important that you get your text right when you build these templates. Now, what do I mean by getting text right? Well, there's three huge things you should do with every template you create, especially when it comes to using this tool to get mobile website clients. First off, you need to focus on the benefits and tie them in. Now, we all know the benefits to a mobile website. And again, the fact everybody's on this live and the fact everybody, you've picked up WP Lead Explosion in the first place tells me that you obviously know the sheer potential of mobile websites and that industry moving forward when it comes to local businesses. They all need to go mobile. That is quite apparent. Either now or within the next year or whatever, they're all going to have to go mobile, or at least cater to the mobile crowd in some way or other. So it's important that you remember when you approach any business, okay, for the first time with mobile, they have no idea what a mobile website is. No idea. And most will just be convinced that if you, an example of this, and some of you guys, I mean, if you've approached businesses before, you'll probably have this before. If you approach a business to say your mobile website is broken, it doesn't work on a mobile phone, okay? Your website is broken, it doesn't work on a mobile phone. And what you're meaning is it's not mobile phone compatible in regards to it's awkward to use, navigate, etc. If you do that, and essentially the business that reads into that, they're not going to read into it in the way you are. They read into it as in, oh, right, I'll whip my iPhone out of my pocket right now, load my website up. Oh, it loads fine on the phone. It works fine. What are you talking about? And what they're confusing that with is you saying your website doesn't work on a mobile because it's awkward to use and it's not built for a mobile. Yet they look at it as it loads just fine because it's a browser. And obviously every website loads on a mobile browser. So you need to focus on the sheer benefit and the difference between a mobile website and what they've currently got in place. And a few examples of this. We all know the different benefits of a mobile website. One benefit, as an example, is the tap to call and tap to email or tap to contact ability of a mobile website. So if you are comparing a desktop site of Jamie's Restaurant to a mobile version, the desktop site on not on every browser will be tap to call, but will also as well, for a user landing on that desktop site with a mobile, they're going to have to scroll around, zoom in and out, and move all over the page just to try and find a contact phone number. And when they find that contact phone number, sometimes it isn't going to even be tap to call. So it becomes a pointless thing. They're just going to click back. They're not even going to bother to write that number down. If you then look at the mobile website, they're on a mobile, they land on the mobile site. They don't have to do no scrolling around or looking around. They've got the tap to call and the contact buttons right there in front of them on that page they've just landed on within seconds. They literally tap it and they're calling that business. That is a huge benefit of a mobile site. We all know that. But it's important that when you create a landing page or template within WP Lead Explosion and you want to point out the benefit of a tap to call, tap to email, or tap to contact, that you don't just assume the business owner knows the benefit of that. You don't just pop in a speech bubble or in a circle element. You've got tap to call and tap to email. While we know what that means and we think it's quite obvious, everybody should know what that means, most businesses have no idea what that benefit is. So you need to point that out to them. And pointing that out is very, very easy. It's as simple as saying, we've got tap to call and tap to email. Here comes here is where you have this on your mobile site. Obviously, you're going to condense this down. This means anybody visiting your website on a mobile can contact your business with one tap within 2 seconds. Now compare that to your desktop site. They've got to find the number to begin with, and it's not always tap to call on a phone. So they're going to click back. That's an example of taking a benefit and then adding more to it. So you're literally explaining and describing the benefit and how that is going to benefit that business, which is absolutely crucial. Using niche-specific benefits and niche-specific talk as well is very, very important. An example of that is if you're targeting a restaurant, use talk in restaurant language. So as an example here, if you say to a restaurant, look, here's your tap to call and tap to email. One tap and a customer can be booking a table in your restaurant. Whereas on your website, they've got to try and find your number just to try and book a table. If that, and again, you can use the example of if somebody's on the move, they're in a different city to where they actually live, and they're not connected to Wi-Fi. The likelihood is your desktop site is going to load really, really slow. So anybody wanting to find a restaurant to dine in right now and right now tonight, they're just going to click back because your website takes too long to load. Your website will load quickly wherever that business is because it loads right there, bang, straight away for them, which is crucial. So you're not just pointing out tap to call, tap to email, slow loading, quick loading. You're backing that up with this is why it's important for your business. Now, you can use different text sizes within WP Lead Explosion to fit more content on there, but you just need to condense it down and even bullet point it or whatever you want to do just to make that clear. But again, guys, when you're creating templates, you need to remember that while we assume most businesses know this is how a mobile website is going to benefit them, these are the features, list all the features. While we quite often assume businesses know that those features are going to benefit them and know the benefits of those features, more often than not, they have no idea what those features are and what those features even mean. Tap to call and tap to email could mean absolutely anything to a business owner. Although it seems fairly obvious to us, it's not obvious to every single business out there. So remember that when you're creating your templates. Now, the other point to make here is to use the power of statistics as social powerful proof. Now, statistics can be found anywhere online. If you search mobile website statistics and mobile internet user statistics online, you will find lots and lots of different awesome statistics out there. Things like by 2014, there'll be more mobile searches, local searches online via Google than there will be from desktop. That's a huge, huge statistic. These are the things you want to be putting on your landing pages and on your templates so businesses know about these. Now, we always use them from specific sources as well. And on the actual mobile templates, you can link up text as well. So you can link to different social proof statistic landing pages online. A couple of these include the Google mobile blogs, which will pop some links into the chat box now, of one statistic we use. And I mentioned this earlier on, guys, the Google mobile ads blog that states 67% of people leave a mobile website immediately or without taking action if it's not mobile friendly. These are statistics you want to point out on your landing pages, but then link to them and explain there's a link to them on the landing page so businesses can go and see them themselves. Now, again, if you search for mobile user statistics, mobile website statistics online, you'll find lots and lots of social proof. And all you want to do is make sure that the proof you use is from a reputable source. So in our example here, we've got 67% of users will leave a non-friendly mobile website without taking any action. That's from Google. You can't get any more reputable than that. This isn't just you saying this to the business. You're proving that, it's not me. This has come from Google. Again, we used to use one in the UK as well from the Guardian website. It's kind of a bit outdated now because it's over a year and a half old. But the statistic is even more beneficial now because a year and a half ago, the Guardian posted an article that was half of the UK population now own a smartphone, which was huge. That's huge. To point that out to a business owner, mobile websites are based on smartphones. That's what they resize on. That's what they look great on. That's what they're for. Half of the UK population right now owns one. It's very important that you deliver a suitable solution for them when they visit your website. Again, that figure is going to be much higher now. I'd probably be willing to bet it's probably closer to maybe 60, 70% of the UK population have a smartphone right now, maybe even higher. As I say, that was about a year and a half ago. But if you can find these statistics from reputable sources that the business owner is likely going to know, The Guardian is a huge newspaper in the UK for those that are in the US. A business is going to believe that over just you. You just saying it on your landing page means nothing. You saying it on your landing page and putting a statistic there on your template, but then linking to the source of that statistic, backs up what you're saying, and again means much, much more. So those are the three things when building templates. Focus on the benefits, but tie them in as well, and talk about why their benefits and what the features that are on mobile websites, why these are important to each business, and why they're important to take seriously. Using niche specific. So if you're targeting a specific niche, make your templates around that specific niche. Talk about the benefits and features in relation to that niche and their customer base and why it's important for them as a specific business. And again, statistics. Tie statistics into your landing pages because they work, but link them up with social proof where possible, or put a source in there so they know it's not just you picking these numbers and picking these statistics out of thin air. This is coming from real reputable sources, which is why you need to take note, which is very, very important. Now, before I move on to the next strategy here, which is going to be on the emailing, which I know a lot of people have lots of questions on, I'm just going to fire through some of the questions here, guys, because I've noticed quite a few have come through, but I just wanted to get through there. And I'm just going to go through now and see what questions I've got, what I've missed, and if I can help you. Okay. I'm just going to go through these questions, guys. Let's have a look. Question from Tim. How do you know how much businesses are spending on advertising? You don't know. I mean, this is going back to choosing the right businesses. Of course, you don't know what somebody is spending on advertising without asking them that question. And again, if you're pitching a business, you want to be asking this. But as far as that, it's obvious who is spending the most on advertising, but not just spending the most. Targeting a business or finding businesses within a niche that are spending on advertising at all online is good enough. Even if they're spending £50 a month on Google AdWords, they're proactively trying to get business from the internet. So you are going to offer them a solution to increase that and potentially increase that. So again, you don't really need to know how much they're spending on advertising. You just need to know that they're actually spending and they're not just sitting around doing nothing. Question from Barry. Owner-orientated businesses in some cases don't have a website, and the ones that do don't get a lot of traffic. That all depends on where you're finding your leads, though, Barry. Like I mentioned, you want to be finding your leads in areas people are advertising online. So if you want to target an owner-orientated niche like a plumber, yes, there are going to be plumbers out there that don't have a website yet, but we're not bothered about them. We're not interested in them. We're only interested in the ones we can actually sell a mobile website to in this example. So all we need to do in that case is go after that type of business. And to do that, we just need to search on Google, because everybody on the top page of Google that you search for plumber in whatever area you're in will have a website. So again, it just depends on where you're finding your leads. But again, owner orientated or not, you were only targeting those that have a website. Okay, let's have a look. Okay. I'm just going to try, if you're asking to enlarge the font of my actual presentation, I actually can't enlarge it anymore, I don't think. I'm going to try and do it now, guys. If I enlarge it, I might be able to enlarge it a little bit, but I'm not going to be able to, see the questions when I do. So what I'll do, I'll enlarge it for this next part now, guys. And then once I've done that, I'll come back to the actual questions that are being asked. So this might help. Okay. So next up, guys, is we're going to look at contacting potential businesses via email, so the approach. I'm just going to check. Everybody can see my screen, right? Yeah. Okay, no problem. So contacting potential businesses via email, the approach. Now, it's important at this point, guys, to mention direct mail, because WP Lead Explosion was actually created based on a direct mail campaign initially. We did provide a PDF on that at first, but myself and David created a direct mail piece. We had the idea of placing a mobile phone next to another on a page, popping, popping their desktop site in there, popping an example of a mobile site in the same niche, and then annotating it in notes, sending that out via direct mail. And we knew it would grab attention because it's been personally, all the notes have been written and annotated personally. So again, it worked really, really well. We got a massive, massive response rate on that. But the problem we had was we could only target around 15 businesses a day because it was taking us too long to personally write every single note on every single direct mail piece. So we created WP Lead Explosion to speed that up. So although it isn't handwritten, which we don't have that power of a business opening a letter and finding it handwritten, the fact that it is still a note annotated style piece of direct mail and landing page, if you print those out and send them out via direct mail, again, the response rate is really, really good because it looks like, and you have in essence spent a lot of time creating and putting that together. And again, we did start this method out with a direct mail piece before we turned it into a WordPress plugin. So it is important to mention direct mail. But email is easiest, obviously, because everybody can send an email, and it is a science. That's important to point out as well. You should always be testing. A lot of questions we get is, you send emails. How many emails should I be sending? What type of email should I send, etc., etc. You should be testing all of the time. You shouldn't just be, sending one email out or sat thinking, I don't know what to send out in an email. Just write the email and send it out as if you're emailing a friend or however you want to do it. Emailing is not hard, but you've got to actually go out and take action and do it to find out what works and what doesn't. Now, email, as far as how we do it, there are two ways you can do it with WP Lead Explosion. You can send it as a first email. So once we've got our landing pages created and you're sending that out to a business, you can, of course, send that out very, very easily via the pro version. So you can send it from direct within the plugin and just send out landing pages, so create emails in there. Or if you're just on the basic version, again, you can just grab the link and type out your own emails. You can send it out as the first email. So that's your first approach with your landing page. Or you've got the option to do it as a follow-up as well. And we know a lot of people with the OTO2 or the Platinum Mobile Income Hub Mastermind session, where we showed a completely different approach using just email. A lot of people have combined the two, which is a really, really good thing to do. So they're using the first email from that approach to get the interest from the business, and then following up with the WP Lead Explosion landing page template to again show them and the businesses the power of a mobile website. So you can combine it into two different ways. That is completely up to you. The difference is, obviously, one is sending it out as a direct email, and one is doing it as a follow-up. It all depends on your approach and the way you want to do it. And you may have your own email routes right now. You may have been sending an email already that's getting you a lot of interest and a lot of responses. You may be able to work it into that. So again, testing is absolutely key. Now, it's important to also tell you not to discard contact forms as well, because they are absolute gold. And again, we've had this question a lot where we've had people come back to say, I've been wanting to send out this a landing page I've created to some businesses in a specific niche, but I can't find any emails to send them to. All I'm finding is contact forms, and there's no emails on their website at all, so I'm just leaving them. You still want to be sending contact forms. Yes, of course, you're not going to be able to send them via email. You're not going to be able to send through a contact form through the pro version of the plugin. But all you need to do is copy and paste the email and pop it into a contact form, which takes a matter of less than a minute per website that you find a contact form on. But they are absolutely gold. And let me explain why they are gold. A contact form on a website, when set up and when filled in and sent, will go to, more often than not, the owner's email address. And the reason it goes to the owner's email address, not every time, but a lot of the times, is because it's generally an inquiry. Because most salespeople won't go through a contact form, as we see all the time. And we see, as I say, people that come and say, look, I've been trying to send this landing page to people, but all I find is contact forms, so I've been, not even bothering. That's what a lot of salespeople do. They do the same thing. So a lot of the time, these go through to actual owners of the business. And the beauty of them is, when you send a contact form, the subject line that is delivered to the business email would usually be website inquiry or website contact form inquiry. So automatically, in the business owner's mind, before they can even read your email, think they've got an inquiry for their services or their products or whatever they're offering. So they open them. So the open rate on a contact form is pretty much 100%. Everybody will open a contact form that comes through via their contact form, an email that comes through via their contact form, because they think it's an inquiry from a business. So open rates are almost 100%, if not 100%. And again, that gives us an opportunity to have our emails read. Now, it's not always going to be read by the owner. Obviously, that's the downside, but more often than not, it is read by the owner. But not sending contact forms just because it takes an extra minute to copy and paste an email is something you shouldn't do. You need to do it because they are absolutely gold. And some of our previous campaigns, I mean, the campaign we show in the OTO2, we had some of our biggest responses and highest responses when we were sending through a lot of contact forms, which shows they get opened more than standard emails. So very, very important. And I just wanted to mention that. Now, getting into subject lines, what actually works. So when you've got your landing pages, you want to send an email, what subject line should you be working with and what actually works? Well, first off, and most importantly here, if you are trying to sell mobile website design via email, and you're going to approach a business via email, do not, whatever you do, mention mobile website design in the subject line of that email. If you do, I'll guarantee right now, 90% of the time, that email will be deleted without even being read. Businesses receive these emails every single day from all over the world. All that screams is, I am going to sell you something that you don't need, or I am going to sell you something you don't understand. I am going to sell you something. Business owners will automatically make their mind up without even looking at what it is you're trying to show them from the subject line, mobile website design. Oh, I'm not interested in mobile website design. Oh, I've had somebody on the phone already about that. Or I received an email about mobile website design last week. Delete. So don't, whatever you do, try and put anything to do with what you are trying to offer in the subject line of the email. That's a quick way to get your emails deleted without being read. Now, there are two ways that we actually do subject lines. The first way is to use questions. Questions work. Now, what I mean by questions is something like, are you aware of this? So if you're sending an email to I don't know, Jamie's Restaurant, you wouldn't mention anything other than having a subject line, are you aware of this? You could get more power out of that by putting their actual business name or business owner name at the front of that. So if you know the owner's name, so I don't know, Jamie, are you aware of this? Or business, Jamie's Restaurant, are you aware of this? Or have you seen this, question mark? Or did you know this happens on your site, question mark? Every single business owner that reads that is going to open it because they're thinking you're going to show them something that they need to address right now. This looks serious. This looks like a problem. You're not mentioning mobile website design or anything about that. You're not saying, are you aware of what a mobile website can do for your business? Or have you looked into mobile website design? Or did you know this happens on your site? You need a mobile website, whatever. You're just asking that question. You're intriguing them to open that email because at the end of the day, you need them to open to get the click on your landing page. So questions work. Are you aware of this? Have you seen this? Did you know this happens on your site? The other route that works really well is to use the business owner name where you can get it within the subject line. And you can do that before the question. So Jamie Garside, are you aware of this? Or David Chamberlain, have you seen this? You know, if I received an email like that, I'm going to open it, okay? Plain and simple. And if you think about it yourself, you received an email, your name, followed by, are you aware of this? Or have you seen this? Or did you know this happens on your website? Then you're obviously going to open that to see what this person is going to show you. So very, very important. But using the business owner name can also be very, very powerful. Now, one we go with is the initials FAO, business owner name. So FAO Jamie Garside or FAO David Chamberlain. Now, FAO stands for the attention of Jamie Garside or for the attention of David Chamberlain. Now, if you're in the US, the equivalent is CO. So you'll know this is CO, business owner name. Now, that's our strongest subject line. That works probably the best we've seen through, well, we're talking 5 figures, probably 6 figures nearly of emails we've sent since the middle of last year. And FAO is our strongest opener. But again, if you can add a question behind that as well, we also see really, really good results with that. So those are 2 ways you can do the subject line. So use one of those, have a test and play around with that yourself. Maybe take the questions part a bit further. But whatever you do, whatever it is you're trying to essentially offer, you know, whether it's mobile website design, reputation management, SEO, whatever, if you mention what you are trying to offer in your subject line, that is a quick way to be deleted. And we've seen this on far too many occasions where we've had, again, lots of people contact us and customers and subscribers to say, I'm not getting my opens, my open rate is really low, I'm not getting any responses, and we ask, can we see your email that you send in? And the subject line has, have you ever looked into mobile website design, or affordable mobile website design, or something along those lines? And straight away, that is the killer, because as soon as a business sees that, they delete. So it's very, very important that you get your subject line right. So that's what works for us. Now, creating an email that does the job. If you focus on 4 important things, that's all you need to remember as far as WP Lead Explosion goes. When you send an email to any business, you want to keep things personal. Don't come across as a salesperson. Don't come across as a sales and marketing director or president of this business or founder of this business or any fancy title, because what that does, that tries to put yourself on a pedestal above the business that reads that. And again, it's the wrong way to approach at the very beginning when you're trying to build a relationship with that business. Every email we send out, regardless of how big our business has grown, is always personal. We keep things personal. We go in as a fellow business owner, not as a founder of another business, not as a director or a sales director or company director or anything fancy like that. It's not needed. Go in as a personal email because you're getting on their level. I'm going to show you an example in a moment, guys. Now, keep things short because you want them to look at your link and click your link. If your email is paragraphs and paragraphs long, discussing mobile website design before you even get to the link you want the business owner to look at, the chances are they won't even read as far as your link to even see it. So the focus needs to be on that landing page. So you need to keep things short because that's what you want them to do. Keep in mind what you want them to take action on. When creating an email, and I've recently done this, and this works in anything. My brother actually runs a fashion boutique with his missus, and recently he's been doing a lot of emailing to generate a lot of business for the company. And I've been looking and helping him with his emailing recently. And one of the things he's been struggling with is getting his emails. He's getting them open, but getting those emails, turning those emails into sales. And it's because people are not clicking through. And the problem he's been having is he's been adding images to his emails, and this is another major problem. If you add images to your emails, the likelihood is they're not going to be open, they'll be deleted, or people won't see what you're trying to show them because most email clients hide the images. They won't load the images of the email unless the user actually says, show me the images, and clicks that link. And most won't even click them. I know I don't click them in my own email anymore. I kind of I don't even see the link anymore. So I'm kind of blind to it. So again, most of your targets are going to be seeing the same thing. Now, my brother had the same issue, although it's slightly different. He was putting images of clothes and the fashion he sells on his site in his emails to try and get people to click. But obviously, these weren't coming up in the actual emails when delivered. Changing his emails around, just a quick intro, I want to show you this new dress or whatever, and having a link to his site has again increased that tenfold already. So again, it's absolutely huge. And this comes as well, we've seen this before, placing emails, placing images for your business in your emails. If you're sending emails, don't place images of your business logo and all manner of your, a picture of yourself or anything like that in your emails, because again, it's just going to be another reason people don't open and don't follow through with your emails and delete them. We've been seeing it a lot on our support desk where we get emails from people on our support desk that are sending from their actual marketing emails and their emails that they're actually sending out to business owners, and they've got images attached to them. The images don't come up, and a lot of the problem you've got when it comes to businesses in general is they don't understand emailing, and when they get that message because they open your email that says images have been blocked in this email due to potential virus issues, which email clients do just by default, that's going to scare a business owner straight away, thinking he's sending me some sort of virus. I'm not clicking on that link. So again, guys, if you're currently sending emails out to businesses and you're putting your logo in your email or any other images, take them out. You don't need them in there. You just need a plain text email. There's no reason to have your logo image within that email when you're approaching. No reason whatsoever. It's not going to enhance the response rate. It's not going to make you look more professional or anything like that, guys, because at this point, we're just trying to build that relationship. And believe you me, we've been testing this for a lot of emails. We've been doing this a long time. So again, guys, if you're doing that right now, take those images out of your emails. You'll get a much better response rate. Now, creating the email, so keeping it simple. Again, keep it short. Now, at the end, when you're closing and you want somebody to get back to you, offer help and advice, not sales. So at the end, don't just put something like, if you're interested in buying a mobile website, give me a call on this number, because nobody wants to be sold to. You've always got to go with a close of, if you need any help or advice, I'm more than happy to offer you help and advice. Give me a call on this number. Not ring me and I'm going to sell to you. Okay, but that's kind of obvious. Now, let's look at a quick example. Now, here's an example, guys. Now, this example, this page, we'll pop a link in the chat box as well to pluginbeast.com/strategy. We'll pop a link in the chat box if you're on live. This page will actually have the replay to this webinar on a little later on today, if you're watching this live. So you'll see in the green box, we've written an example, okay, of an email, and it ticks all those boxes we've mentioned. Very, very short, gets to the point. But let me just read through this. So, hi, I was recently looking for a plumber in Manchester, and I came across your website. As a fellow business owner, so that you're getting on their level, you're not trying to be above them or put yourself higher or whatever, I wanted to offer some advice. So you're offering them some advice. You're not trying to sell to them at this point. Currently, you are turning off around 30 to 40% of visitors to your site, and it's an easy fix. You can see more at the link below. Here's a link to your landing page, and then a close. If you need any help, give me a call on number there, and I'll be more than happy to talk. Thanks, your name. That is it. Very simple, very short. You're getting them to this link. That's the link you want them to click. That's going to do the selling and the educating for you. Again, you get on their level here. I'm a fellow business owner and I wanted to offer you some advice. Okay, so you're not saying I'm a fellow business owner and I want to sell you a mobile website. Again, in this actual email here, we've not mentioned anything about a mobile website because the landing page is going to do the selling for us. The landing page is going to talk about the mobile websites and show the benefits and why it's important for us. And then at the end, the simple close, if you need any help, give me a call. Not if you want to buy a mobile website. If you want to get a mobile website set up, give me a call, because that's going to put a business off. No business wants to be sold to at this point. They want help, they want advice, they want to understand how a mobile website can help them in their business. So again, guys, there's an example of an email, but that follows the same strategy of keeping things personal, getting on their level, okay, keeping things short because we want them to go to the link. The link will do the job of selling, educating, and again, pointing the benefits, and then offering help and advice at the end, not offering to sell, which is very important. So you can use that example, copy and paste it, or whatever you want, guys. Now, it's important, guys. Testing is the key to success. As I mentioned before, sending just 10 emails and getting no response and finishing there obviously isn't going to bring you any success. You need to send hundreds. We send hundreds a day within our business. We scale all the time, and we've got a lot of VAs that do a lot of the email sending for us. But even when we first started our business, we were sending hundreds of emails per day, because that's when you start getting a lot of responses. And the more responses you get, the more opportunities you've got to close business. And this way you can test strategies and niches as well, which is important. Find out what works and ultimately what doesn't. So that brings me to the end of this content session today, guys. I'm just going to close this down so I can see any questions that are coming through. And that brings us to around an hour. So we wanted to keep this an hour so the replay wasn't too long. So in this essence, guys, I'm now going to fire through some questions. If you've got any questions about what I've covered there, guys, fire those into the chat box now, and I'll do my best to answer as many as I can that are coming through or any I've missed. But again, guys, we will be getting a replay out as soon as we finish this webinar today. We'll get that up today as well, so you should have that delivered via email at some point within the next few hours. So keep an eye on that. So we'll have a look. Just having a look now, guys. If you've got any questions, fire those in. Okay. There's a question about the Platinum Mastermind, which is the OTO2. You talk about sending a follow-up email to those who did not open the email with a webinar link. What are the best days and times to hold webinars for business owners? Is there a suggested best time? Kind of not related to this, but just to quickly answer that, It all depends. If we tend to do it at the best time to suit ourselves. If we're in the office between 9 and 5 with it in the UK, we'll hold the webinar between those hours generally. And if we find we're not getting many people on the webinar, we'll tend to hold them in the evening when businesses are likely going to be around. But again, what you need to remember as well is when you run a webinar, in that case, you can record the webinar. So when you do a recording, you can then email that out via, email the replay out, and you're pretty much going to get watched either way. But if you do want to do it live and get people on, you tend to find in the evening when people have finished work, wherever you are in the world, is going to be the best time. Is the outline shown on screen available for us to download? No, it isn't, but I will link because it's been a bit small for some of you guys to see, just in case the replay is small to see as well. I'll link this outline up below the replay page. So on this strategy page here, I'll link it up there, guys, so that you can actually open this when you go through the replay and read through everything I've put on here, no problem at all. Great format and info from Todd. Thanks, no problem at all. I'm glad you got a lot of value from this. Patricia, do you use the email example that you provided? Yes, I mean, we use the same type of email. We use that email. We reword that email for different approaches. We reword it for different niches. Again, it's important to remember, and again, I don't know how, if you've been on any of our previous webinars or your previous customer of ours at this point, or that, everything we do, we are in the trenches selling mobile websites right now. That is what we do. That is how we came into this. We're not creating products on theory and creating these emails on theory and saying, do something like this. It's based on how we send emails and how we construct emails. So yes, we do alter it, of course, for different niches and any different approach we take. But again, if you want to use that same email, it's all about putting creativity. We're all marketers. You're a marketer yourself. That's why you're in this industry. That's how you came across this product. Get creative with it. Don't, think, oh, I can only send this email. I don't want to change it. Change it up. Test. That is the key. Get creative with everything you do, and get creative with the emails. Add your spin to it. Add a bit of difference to it. Try something different with the intro. Try something different with the close. See what results you get. Send lots of emails. This is how you're going to get, as I say, the best results. But everything we share, we're using within our own business. That's important to point out. Rex is asking, do you recommend any specific scrapers or lead tools? We don't actually use them really heavily anymore. As far as lead tools, our VAs do most of our lead building for us. We have VAs that we spend $2 to $3 an hour, and they gather us hundreds, thousands of leads a week. So we're pretty covered on that angle. But in the past, we've used the localizer lead tool. I don't know if that tool still works or if that tool is still available, but we use that localizer lead tool with a Z. You could search it on Google. But again, we have VAs that do our lead generation for us. I mean, it's that cheap nowadays. If you go on Odesk or anything like that, and any of those sites, and add a job on there, you can find loads and loads of lead finders. A few asking where our direct mail samples are. Those are available in the members area. You can download a PDF in there.
There's some in the members area. There's some in the there's one in the Facebook group as well.
Right, yeah. If you've joined our Facebook group or you're part of our Facebook group, there's an example in there as well. And they are available in the members area though, if you want to grab that. Okay, so I'm going to look through now. What do you use for tracking emails and stats? Actually, a good question. I'm going to end on this question unless I get any more, guys, because I don't want the recording to run on too long. But again, if anyone has any more questions, and we're not covered here, or you think of something afterwards, post it in our Facebook group. I'm more than happy to help you out. Question is, what do we use for tracking emails and stats? Well, we use a tool called Yesware. Yesware actually hooks into Gmail, so search that out online. Yesware, Yesware. Actually can get this up on screen real quick right now. Okay. Yesware.com, I've got it on screen here. This hooks directly into Gmail, so you can hook and forward your business emails into here. And this basically tracks how many, when people open your emails, what devices they're opened on, are they opened on a desktop laptop or a computer, or are they opened on an iPhone or whatever. And it also tracks links that are clicked as well. So you can see the emails you send, who opens them, how many times they open them, what devices, and are they clicking the links on your emails as well. Now the problem is Yesware, if you're using WP Lead Explosion, Yesware won't hook into WP Lead Explosion. Not that we've been able to do anyway. So only use Yesware if you're going to be sending from your own email, which you can do, but it's a great tool to install. Now, Yesware costs $5 a month, but you can get a trial of Yesware on their website for 30 days, or I think for 100 tracks, so you can see how it works. But this is the tool we use for tracking emails when we send emails from our own email. What else have we got? Can you add a link to the Facebook group? There should already be one in the chat box if you check. If not, when the replay comes out, we'll have a link under the replay just in case you can't see that. Okay, guys. Last question. Do you recommend sending the emails from our business email address? Yes would be the answer to that. I mean, we always send from our business email address wherever possible. Obviously, sending from like a Gmail or a Hotmail or a Yahoo doesn't look the most professional. And the problem with that is business owners won't take you as serious if you come through on a Yahoo email. You may have a funny Yahoo email such as I don't know, Jamie's email at yahoo.co.uk. It's not going to be, I mean, going back in the years when you first set an email up, you may have set something quite rude up, which I know a lot of people have done. So again, I probably would recommend, and we've never sent from personal emails. It's always come from our business email. We just hook them into Gmail. Gmail is used as our email vehicle, and we just hook those in there. Also, guys, just before I end this webinar, visit our blog. There's a link in the chat box, but we'll pop one underneath the actual replay as well if you're watching this replay. Mobile Income Hub, our blog, we've got quite a few different webinars on there we've done over the past few months that have covered many different things within our business. A lot of the questions coming through are covered on those webinars as well. So it's well worth checking out, especially if you're brand new or you've never seen anything else we've done in the past. Go and check out our blog and watch some of the webinars we've done on there, and you'll get a lot from that as well, guys. Okay, guys, I'm going to jump off this one now. We're going to end this webinar here. If you've got any more questions, we're always open to answering questions. I want to keep this short, though, now. We're at 1 hour, 15 minutes, so to make sure the replay doesn't run on for too long, but we're going to end this one here. We will be doing more webinars in the near future, though, guys. We do them a lot. This is our first. I hope you've enjoyed this webinar. Thank you if you came on live. We do appreciate it. We can't run these webinars without you guys on live to be able to again, deliver that to you and answer your questions. So, again, guys, thanks for coming on live. And keep an eye on your email for the replay. And also keep an eye on your email for anything else we've got coming. Other bits and pieces we recommend you check out as well. We are in the trenches like you guys. So if you've got any questions you feel we can help you with, let us know. It's Jamie Garside and David Chamberlain from Plugin Beast. I hope everybody has a great day. And again, we'll get that replay out to you within the next few hours.